not gone the way you or anybody else would wanted it to. And I know there's a frustration, surely. There's been a lot of talk about the relationship between Baker and coach. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's frustration. It's probably good they'll have a little break from each other. But do you think is there tension there too?
No, absolutely not. I've seen zero of that. Kevin is in our meetings every day. He comes in, we talk through everything that was installed every day. I know the line of communication is wide open between those two guys. I know they met weekly on Tuesdays to make sure everything was good. And I don't feel that at all. I don't. Kevin's always been open and very communicative with all the players and coaches as well.
And none of us have ever questioned Baker's toughness, and I'm sure he wanted to finish this season off. How badly do you feel that he's not going to be able to get out there in the last one?
Yeah, I know. I feel for him. I really do appreciate his effort on the season. I mean, the guy was definitely in pain a lot of the times. I think Kay said it well yesterday when talking about Baker and how tough he is. And I know I've been around some tough guys, but he's up at the top of the list with the stuff he endured and went through this year. Appreciate his efforts. I know he wanted to be there for his teammates, but at some point you have to make the decision that it's, at this situation, his health is most concerning. To keep him healthy and get him right for the off season for next year.
Thanks, Tom. Scott Petrick is next.
Hey, Alex, how did you think Baker saw the field this season and made decisions? And I ask specifically because, there's a video out there of a 3rd and short against Pittsburgh where it looks like he's got DPJ wide open and he doesn't throw it and winds up taking a sack.
Yeah, that was a bad play for him. He'd be the first to admit it. A lot of things played into the performance as the years go on, as this year went on. And that'll be stuff that we take a look at hard in our self-scout and see where we're at. Statistically, didn't have the year he had last year. Wasn't the same body, healthy person as he was last year either. So all that gets taken into consideration. But on that particular play, yes, it did look bad that Donovan was there. But, Baker would be the first one to tell you. I think he was just a little late to it. And then by the time he got there, he felt like the DB was driving on it.
Is that something overall that you think that he can get better at, decision-making and seeing guys get open?
Absolutely. And I think that, a third year in a system where you have complete full understanding of everything, I think that ball would come out. It should have come out. We expected to come out. But yeah, you always grow within a system. The more you're in it, the more you understanding you have for the scheme. Obviously, the more comfortable and better you'll be within it for sure. Definitely always room for improvement. And that's every player.
Thanks, Scott. Daryl Ryder, go ahead.
Yeah, Alex, when things don't go right, there's always the temptation to really overreact and try and correct. Just from your perspective, when you look back at maybe some of the breakdowns that occurred this season, how deep does that go? Does there need to be a big swing is from a correction standpoint, or do you feel like that, it's just minor things that need to be shored up this offseason?
You speaking offensively?
Yes. Yeah.
I think there's always room for correction, always room for improvement. That's kind of where we are at the offseason. We'll dive deep into that and see, as we do every year. As we did during the bye week, we really took a deep dive into what we were doing, and we'll always adjust and adapt and try to put our players in the best position. But there's always room for improvement. Top offense in the league to the bottom offense in the league, you can always get better.
And just in general, why do you think it was so tough to, I guess, bounce back within the season? Like we saw on the defensive side of the ball, they had some unevenness early in the season, but later in the year, they really seemed to find themselves. And just on your side of the ball, it just didn't seem like you guys really found that rhythm and that consistency you were looking for. So why do you think that was so tough for you guys to do that this year?
You'd expect us to do so. Obviously, we had good stretches at times. We didn't play well enough to get to the position where we wanted to be at the end of the season. We all acknowledge that and take accountability to a person for that. Disjointedness, injury, you could blame it on a lot of things, but ultimately we have to play better. We have to be better in leverage situations, third downs, red zone. We have to do it all better. We didn't do it well enough this year. We'll dive in to see why not. moving forward in the next few weeks and months. But everybody's got to step it up. We can't just roll our team out there and expect to be a playoff team. We got to put the work in. We got to detail our work, our fundamentals, everything that goes along with it. I expect these guys to fully do that.
Thanks, Daryl. Tony Grossi, go ahead.
Hey, Alex, on Monday afternoon, there was a report or / rumor circulating that you were going to meet with the University of Pitt officials about a job. Any truth to that?
No, not at all. Actually, my phone started to ring around that same time, and I have no idea where that had come from. I've not spoken with anybody from University of Pittsburgh. I'm very happy they had a heck of a season. As a fan, I followed and watched, but definitely have not been contacted by anybody from there.
Okay. My other question is, you have now been the play caller for this team in 2 games. In each game, Kevin was, in quarantine. Would this not be a good opportunity to see the two of you work your roles in the same game? He as head coach and you as play caller?
I work for Coach Kevin, and I'm happy whichever role that would be. I think Kevin feels most comfortable calling the plays, and I don't know if I would disagree with him if I were in his shoes as well. But we do a lot together. Hopefully, as usual, we'll all have voices in the play calling as it goes forward. But I don't feel the need to I need to call this game. I think Kevin does a great job, and I'm very comfortable in the role that I'm in now.
Thank you, Tony. Jeff Shadell, you have our next question.
I have 2 questions. One, you keep talking about how hurt Baker was, so why keep running him out there this season? Even if you said he felt okay when he really wasn't, why keep using him?
We felt that he was healthy enough to give us the best chance to win at that position. Big year for Baker as far as learning how to play through injury. Really proud of him. I mean, it's not uncommon in this league that guys play with things throughout the course of the year and get repaired in the off season. It's kind of the way it goes. It was his non-throwing shoulder. He was harnessed up and protected to the point, the game that he wasn't healthy enough to play, we started case. But, it's a medical question. And each week, if he was cleared medically to play, we thought it was the best interest to the team to play him, give us the best chance to win.
And my second question was, with all the coaches coming back and all the offensive starters coming back, seemed like a good idea. But Alex, do you think that maybe things got a little stale with everybody knew what their position was, or no battles or anything like that? Do you think they could have been a little stale?
I hope not. I felt really good about where we were last year coming into the season with the returners. I know it's a comfort level. Yes. I don't think anybody got complacent. No. A lot of people played that weren't the original starters from the beginning of the season. And that's the way it always works in the NFL. But I know we got to be better next year. We got to find a way to improve in a lot of different areas.
Thanks, Jeff. Nate Ulrich, go ahead.
Hey, Alex, I want to ask you about Jedrick Wills Jr. Obviously you had those ankle injuries early on. What do you think about his season as a whole? And, just did you get the step out of him in his second season that you wanted?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I know he got better. He got better as a player. I know that. He had a rough go early with the injuries. Then with the COVID, he was a guy that wasn't feeling great through that deal. So to get him back, probably wasn't the year he wanted to have, but I know he got better. I know working with Coach Callahan and Coach Peters for another year is only going to make you better. So hopefully, knock on wood, next year we can come back healthy and stay healthy and be very productive at that left tackle spot, because he definitely has the ability to do it.
Okay. And a guy in a much different situation, Joku, and I say that because his contract's coming up here. But what did you think of his season? And is he somebody that you would like to, continue to develop?
I think so. Personally, I like David, the way he played this year. It was productive for us and explosive in the pass game. He's very good at the point of attack in the run game, and it's tough to find in tight ends. We're lucky to have 3 that can do both of those things. But he did it at a high level. I was very proud of his season. He did some good things on both sides in the pass game and the run game. And, definitely hope he's part of us moving forward.
Thanks, Nate. Dan Lobby, you're up.
Hey, Alex, I wanted to ask about Kareem Hunt. You guys only had him for 8 games this year or so far. And one of those games, I think you only had him for like a quarter. So with not having him in the offense and all the things he does for you, how much did that kind of hurt you guys to not have him?
I mean, it definitely would help if we did have him. There's no question. He's a star player, very explosive, very violent runner, good in the pass game, brings a lot to the table for second and third down for us. Unfortunately, again, that injury bug stuck up and bit him. And, it's one of many injuries we dealt with throughout the course of the year. Ultimately, you like to have him for all 16, 17, 18, 20 games. But, we just got to find ways to keep winning when we don't have him in there. But, again, it was that kind of year, just disjointed at times, didn't have all, we weren't loaded for bear every week as we were most of the time last year, but no excuses. Still got to find ways to win.
And I guess one of the positives of that is you got to see more of D'Ernest. So how would you kind of assess his season?
Very, very happy with D'Ernest. Never doubted him. He's always produced when his number's been called for us. He's very good in third down protection, understands protection schemes and is physical and his blitz pickup and can catch the ball in the backfield. So I think, D'Ernest had a really good year for us with the things we asked him to do.
Thank you, Dan. We have time for one more. Scott Petrick, go ahead.
Yeah, Alex, I wanted to follow up on the Njoku question. How did you think that he got better this season, and where do you think there's still room for him to improve? Without getting into great detail, I mean, I think he got better in the pass game. I think that was an area of improvement for him. Always there, room for improvement there. He's a guy that has great straight line speed. I see maybe getting in and out of the breaks at the break point. But then just his ability to be physical in the run game, I think that's improved as well. But again, he's had a very solid year for us. Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Coach, appreciate the time today.
All right, guys. Thank you.